Did you know that the top 10 third-party sellers on Amazon combine for over $3 billion a year in sales? And I'll bet you think they're making millions selling commodity products like toilet paper and earbuds. But you couldn't be more wrong. You're never going to believe what types of products these sellers are selling and making a killing with. The number 8 largest seller on Amazon sells $1 million a month of slime from a snail. But the weirdest one is from the second largest seller who sells something to prevent a particular type of burp. Stay tuned because in this video, I'll tell you what that type of burp is. But on top of that, I'll tell you who the top 10 largest sellers are, how much money they make, and the weird and crazy ways in which they make money and the products they sell. Starting off in the number 10 position with $225 million in revenue is everyone's favorite and most beloved yoga apparel brand. Now that brand, of course, is CRZ Yoga. Now CRZ Yoga combines all of the best elements of a perfect Chinese Amazon brand. First, their brand name is simply a random collection of letters that make very little sense together. Next, they do an amazing job of R&D, and that's rip off and duplicate. So they take the best-selling Western brands and rip them off perfectly, all while barely being within intellectual property laws. And finally, they sell decent quality products, but at great prices. So these Butterlift leggings cost just $32, which is a fraction of the price from Lulu. And each month, they sell over $100,000 a month of them. And if you don't squint too hard, you'd think that they actually are Lululemons. Next up is a company that for 8 months of the year basically sells nothing. But from March to June, they absolutely kill it. And that seller is VivoSun, a gardening brand that rakes in an estimated $230 million a year on Amazon.com alone. They sell things like seedling mats and grow tents. Now, while they say that they're based in California, the suspiciously odd name that doesn't really make a lot of sense indicates they might be from some other country. Either way, it's pretty impressive what they've done with their gardening brand. And next, we get to potentially one of the most interesting sellers on this entire list. And we also get away from China. So we hop on a flight and take a small plane ride over the Yellow Sea to Korea. No, not that Korea, their southern neighbor. So South Korea is home to COSRX, a company that does over $300 million a year in sales according to sellersnooper.com. Their top selling product sells $1.5 million a month, and it's exactly what you would think it is. It's Snail Slide. COSRX sells Snail Mucin, or whatever it's called, which is a trending health and beauty product known for helping with dry and flaky skin. No word on if it will help with your flaky boyfriends. Now I know what you're thinking. You're a little bit worried and you're wondering, how do you get the slime from a snail? Well, the process is actually pretty cool and involves putting the snails in a warm steam bath, which triggers them to release their goo. And don't worry, it does not involve turning the snails into escargot after all of it. No snails are harmed in the process. Next up is Laura Geller. So Laura Geller is one of the few truly American sellers on this list, and they have revenue of over $300 million. Now, if you're under 40 and or you're male, you can be excused if you've never heard of Laura Geller. However, for the 53% of Amazon shoppers that are female and the 55% that are over 35 years of age, they probably know Laura perfectly well. This makeup set earns an estimated $750,000 a month for Laura Geller. What is it? I have no idea, but apparently it's a best baked palette that's full size and includes bronzer, blush, 2 highlighters, and 3 eyeshadows. According to my male monkey brain, it's a makeup kit. All right, we're getting into the top 6 sellers on Amazon. But before we start, why don't we set the mood a little bit? Let's put on some funky music and let's set the lighting. Now, we wouldn't need some cheesy Adobe Premiere filter if I had just bought a light from this next company on the list, Govee. Govee is a lighting company with an estimated revenue of $343 million per year on Amazon.com alone. They sell lighting for everything from TV backlights to Christmas tree lighting. But one of their most interesting lights is this Galaxy light projector here. Their Amazon infographics advertise that when Amazon fees, tariffs, and malicious competitors have you stressed, a Govee light can help you disappear into another universe. I'm sold. All right, for the number 5, number 4, and number 3 sellers, we're going to zoom through them all in one go. Why? Because they're all kind of similar companies. They are in one of the most bastardized categories on all of Amazon. And they are in the single most competitive category on all of Amazon. And they are also in one of the most profitable categories on all of Amazon. That category is, of course, supplements. These companies sell everything from creatine to B12 supplements. Quick pills that you can digest to get away from all the hard work of working out and just have a fit body appear overnight. Number 5, eSupplements does $420 million a year in sales of supplements. Number 4, Carlisle does $430 million. And number 3, Nutrafol does $432 million. So if you're looking to build a multi-$100 million Amazon business, maybe supplements is it. Actually, scratch that. If you value your sanity and potentially your wallet, don't touch supplements with a 10-foot pole. Number 2 on our list is a company called Sports Research. So they are another American seller based in San Pedro, California, and they do an estimated $589 million a year in revenue on Amazon.com alone. And you're never going to believe the category that they're in. They're in supplements. You see the trend now? Amazon shoppers consume a crap ton of supplements. Now, Sports Research, though, is a little bit more interesting than the other supplement companies because they have some pretty interesting products. Sports Research's number 1 product sells over $1.5 million a month and solves a very real problem. That problem, of course, is fish burps. If you've ever taken a fish oil pill before, you know exactly what happens. About an hour after ingesting it, it feels like a mermaid hiccuped in your mouth after eating a tuna sandwich. But Sports Research promises that their pills won't do this. Okay, I'll take their word for it. And finally, number 1 on the list is Anker. Anker is a Chinese electronics brand that started by a former Google engineer selling battery banks. In terms of revenue, Anker alone would be slightly behind Sports Research with a measly $643 million a year in revenue. However, Anker has a very large secondary brand on Amazon called Yuefi Home, which does close to $200 million a year in revenue itself. So in total, that means that Anker does an incredible $838 million a year on Amazon.com alone. However, this does not paint the whole Anker story. In 2024, Anker reported revenue of over $3 billion worldwide, which was an incredible growth rate of 40% from the previous year. And Anker is a public company, so all of these numbers are public. Now, how did they get such impressive growth? So Anker started off on Amazon and is originally an Amazon native brand. And Anker has done one thing that very few Amazon native brands have done. They've grown outside of Amazon. So in America, you can now find Anker products in Walmart, Best Buy, Target, and other big box retailers. In Asia, multiple countries, including Japan and China, have dedicated Anker stores, kind of similar to an Apple store. But unfortunately for Anker, there's a decent chance that this time next year, they won't be on the top of this list. Why? Because of the tariff ban. Anker was one of the first major brands on Amazon to increase prices after the US implemented significant duties on China in 2025. And we all know that there's one thing Amazon customers hate more than fish burps, and that's high prices. So what do you think? Will Anker still be the largest seller on Amazon a year or two from now? Let me know in the comments down below, and until the next one, happy selling. And by the way, don't forget to like and subscribe.